Hello everyone and welcome back to Stampin Squirrels. It's Debbie here, Squirrel 2, and today I'm going to be showing you everything about the Elegantly Said bundle. This is an absolutely gorgeous bundle and I absolutely love it. It is exactly what it says it is, Elegantly Said. Here's the page in the catalogue. It's got an absolutely beautiful papers that go with this, which is what really attracted me to it in the first place. But these stamps, this one particularly, is just delightful. And this bundle, rather than coming with some dies, comes with this punch here, which I'm going to be using for the card as well a bit later on. But the papers, as I said, absolutely delightful. And we're going to be using or making this card using the paper. So we're going to make a curvy pop-up card, and we're going to use the Elegantly so I don't know what the papers are called actually. I should really look, shouldn't I? Give me 2 ticks. That's it. Simply Elegant. So that's the papers. They're all foiled, and on the back they're black, black and grey, black and white, or grey. But on the front they're all foiled, and they're just divine. So this is the card. So essentially you can lay it flat, and it goes into a normal envelope for posting, like this. But when it comes out of the envelope, it's flat, but when you turn it or push it together like that, you get this curved front. So it's a bit difficult to show on camera, but it's like a bowed front. And on the back, I've popped basic grey on the back, but you could put white on top of the grey and write your greeting on there. It's entirely up to you, or I've put this little extra square here, and you could write your little greeting there if you wanted to. So there's a number of, once you've got the technique off, and I must say that I found this technique on Lisa Curcio's site. Thank you, Lisa. It's a great little card, really easy to do, but I wanted to show off the papers particularly for this set, and they're just lovely, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the papers do the talking for this particular card. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? I'll pop that to one side. Let's see what you need. Right, so not as much as you probably think. Thick basic white card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's been scored at 2 3/4 down the centre. You need some designer series paper, 2 5/8 by 4 1/8, and you need 2 of those. And as you can see here, the foil side, this side, I'm going to actually use the grey side as the back of my card, and this coordinates beautifully with one of the stamp sets in the stamp set, which I'll show you a bit later on. And then you need some, I'm going to use basic grey, so basic grey card for the back. These again are 2 5/8 by 4 1/8, and you need 2 of those. And then for the middle card, so if you can see here, you've got a middle card just here and here, which goes the other way, quite small. You just need a piece of thick basic white card, 2 inches by 4 1/2, and we're going to score this together at 1/2 inch, 2 1/4 inches and 4 inches. And then you need a piece of designer series paper to go into the 2 panels in the centre, 1 5/8 by 1 7/8, and you need 2 of those, and I'm going to be using the foiled side for this. And then you need a band of thick basic white. This is 1 1/4 inches wide by 6 1/2 inches long, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on each end, and this is going to become your belly band at the front and give it that kind of bowed sort of look. And then you need a piece of designer series paper to go along that band, and that's 1 1/8 wide by 5 3/8 of an inch long. Now I've also added this little punchy out here from the punch, and a little greeting on the card. That little piece of card measures 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and you just need a piece of basic, in my case, basic grey scrap, and we're going to be using the punch later on to punch out. This is the punch. It's gorgeous, makes fantastic, really elegant gift cards and name tags and things like that. So we're going to be punching one of those out for the card as well. Okay, let's get started. So as I've said, we've already scored this at 2 3/4 down the centre. So I'm just going to fold that and I'm going to give that a really good burnish. Okay. Now, as I said before, you've got 2 pieces for the back and you've got your 2 pieces of DSP for the inside. Just go ahead and stick those on. So that's the inside of the card. I'm going to flip that over, I'm going to apply the basic grey to the back, and what that does is it just gives it a bit more structure, makes it a bit thicker and more capable of standing up. Alright, so there you have it. So we've got the back on now, so that's the front, folds in half, that's the back, and that just makes that really thick and really nice and stable. Let's pop that off to one side. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to score this little piece of card which makes the middle part of the card here. So I'm going to bring up my Stampin' Up trimmer and I'm going to use the scoreboard. So move the cutter out the way because that's my usual trick. And so if you remember, this piece of card is 2 inches by 4.5, and you're going to just score at 1/2 inch. Two and 1/4 inches and 4 inches. Okay, let's take the trimmer away. And essentially what that does is you fold it in half like this, and then you've got 2 returns on either side at 1/2 inch. Okay, and that, if we bring back the card, is going to go into the centre here and stick down here. So before we do that, I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to burnish those score lines. Okay, and then we're going to bring back our 2 pieces of DSP, so 1 5/8 by 1 7/8, and we're just going to stick those down into the 2 middle squares. Alright, so that's your centerpiece, and then you'll bring back your card base, and if you lay this down right so that the crease on this one is exactly lined up with the crease on this one, flip it over, glue down the fold backs, then lay it flat, line it up exactly with the crease and the bottom of the card, and then stick it down. Okay, and then pull it forward and give it a smooch like that, and then what you'll see is your card folds in the opposite way, which is great. So this is where we are at the moment. Pop that off to one side, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring over the bow, the belly band that goes onto the front. So if you remember, this piece was 1 1/4 wide by 6 1/2, and we've scored it at 1/2 inch on each end. So I'm going to stick down my piece of DSP even. This is my probably favourite one. I've used most of this one. This is grey, basic grey with gold on. It's so Art Deco. It's really, really lovely. It's 1 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I'm going to stick that down. Not, obviously, if I fold those in, you'll see it's going to go into that middle part there. So once you've stuck that down straight, bring back your card, and you can see where this is going to go. That end is going to stick onto here, and this end is going to kind of shove it up a little bit and stick onto here. And probably the best way to do that is, I've found, is I've glued both ends like that. Decide which way you want your paper to go. And then taking your card and putting it on the side, I have aligned the crease with the side of the card and the bottom of the card. Stick that down, turn it over to the other way, fold it down, and then you will have to bend this in slightly. So bend it in and do exactly the same with this one, and this one's slightly more difficult because you can't really see the end. I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to secure down those two bits, and then don't fold this so you've got a crease because you want this to just be round, but when you set it up, that's the basis of your card, and when you put it in the envelope it will go flat like this. But we want to decorate this. So what I'm going to do is, here's the punch that goes and coordinates with this set. I'm going to take my piece of scrap basic grey and I'm just going to punch out one of these. And you can see that that is the shape of the punchy. It's just lovely. And obviously that is made for tying a little bit of ribbon or wire around the top. So I'm going to pop that off to one side. So here's our punchy, and if you remember, we had this little square, 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches, and I am actually going to try and stamp into the corner. Wishing you a wonderful birthday fits perfectly into that square. And so here it is, I've popped it onto, oh I just love this. This is the one we're going to use. I'm going to turn this so it's a diamond shape, like that, and I'm going to use Smoky Slate as the ink. And if this doesn't work, my wonderful husband will cut this and it will be like magic and it will work the next time. And I'm just going to move this a bit closer to me so I can see over it, and hopefully you won't get my head in the shot. And then you just want to centre it. Squirrels are wonderful, squirrels are wonderful, squirrels are wonderful. And hope that's worked. Yes! Phew, Tony's got less work to do. And then what I actually did was, on this one, I took a blender pen, believe it or not, and I actually just used it to line around the outside of this thing. But you can do all kinds of things, it depends. If you wanted, you can sponge it if you want, or if you want to do something really quick, is what I'm going to do today. Just tap it onto your ink pad, and it will line the outside of your card. And I think I'm just going to have a little bit more on that one. There. Really quick way to do it, and it keeps it fairly straight as well. And I'm going to adhere this onto our punchy. Now, because it's going on here and I want it all to coordinate, on the card that I showed you earlier, you will see that I edged this with a bronze blender pen. Oh, I can't say that quickly. A bronze blender pen. And I topped it up with the silver. Now, this is part of the whole coordinating set, the Simply Elegant trim. It comes in silver and a reel of gold. I used silver on the last one. I'm going to use gold on this next one, because I think it probably coordinates just a little better on here. And my advice is, when you're tying a little bow, I want to tie a little bow around this middle bit. I just think it's made for it. And when you're tying the bow, I've done this several ways now because I've made several of these cards, but I would tie it first. All right, and so we've done that. I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to stick them down. this is probably one of the fastest cards I've ever made. And I want to pop it onto the corner like this. And so you can either glue it down or you can use dimensionals. I'll bring them back again. I should have kept them out. And yeah, that's the basic card. So I, of course, want to adorn my card with some gems. And so I've got the champagne rhinestones here. So I'm just going to pop a couple of those on. I think I'll go one here. Ooh, let's go 3. One middle one and a big one at the top. Yes. There. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Curvy pop-up card using the Elegantly Said bundle. Now, I've got a few things to show you because I love this card. It's really easy, and like I said, get your envelope, it will lay flat and it will fit perfectly into your envelope as well. And when people take it out, they kind of will think, oh, that folds a bit like that, and then they'll automatically create the pop-up. So yeah, it's really beautiful and the papers are gorgeous. Now, would you like to see something that I've made? This is an earlier version where I actually put a greeting onto the belly band bit around the front. This is that stamp that I was telling you about here, just stamped into that square look, and then I've just coloured it in with a pen. I think it's soft suede that I've coloured it in with. It's just delightful. The papers are a mixture of copper and gold and silver, the metallics, just really lovely. Didn't put anything on the back of that one, so you could write on the back if you wanted to. But once you've got the technique off, it's really easy to make really fun cards because, of course, it lends itself to 3D items. So what about this one? Who wants party puffins, anyone? Look at that. Just so much fun. Absolutely love it. I'm just waiting for the right person to send that to. Who doesn't love a puffin? And who doesn't love a dancing puffin? I did say there'd be puffins last time, and there are. And I've also used these new accessories here, these pink, these multicoloured pastel in colours. Oh, they're gorgeous as well. Really easy to stick on. Everything went on with wet glue here, and then I've just added some dimensionals to make the puffin stand out. So yeah, party puffins. So you can see realistically how it's very easy to adapt this card to either a child's card. You could do a masculine card, really, really easy, and folds down and just goes in an envelope flat. What more do you want? So that brings me to a close. Thank you, everyone. Just want to say thanks for watching Stampin' Squirrels, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen and me rabbiting on, please like and subscribe. It does help our channel grow, and we're really, really grateful. So thanks for joining Stampin' Squirrels today, and we hope to see you on the other side. Bye now.